Managing classes and events is simple with the Case Management Hub. In this video, I'll walk you through how to set up a page for your class or event, manage participants, track attendance, and track class outcome. For this tutorial, I'll be in a branded version of Case Management Hub. This is a great example of how, with the branding add-on, your organization can change the colors and look of the platform to match your organization's logo and feel. You'll find classes and events under My Websites. Let's take a look at classes first. Both modules act in a very similar way. Here I can see I have one class with 5 attendees. Let's take a look at this, then I'll show you how to create one. Once I click into the class, I'll see my class page. You can publish this publicly or just leave it private if you're not using it. Here I can manage my attendees. I'll see all those that have been invited or that have signed up. And I can track whether they've attended or not. If I'd like to add more attendees, I'll just click here on Add Attendees. I can select from clients, groups, staff, or referral partners. I can also add external recipients if I like. Now let's go back out to the main table. Over here, click on the 3 dots to find your options. I can preview my class page, copy the link to the page to give others, open my event, add attendees, edit, clone, show on the calendar, and more. You can also make your class page private and generate a password. Anytime I want to see my attendees, I can click here. And I can check their attendance and responses. You'll also see that the classes have an outcome column. You can edit the options to meet your needs. Okay, so let's create a new class. First, name your class, and then you can add details on time, including repetition, add a location, and a description. If you're using an online class page and you want to keep it password protected, just click Make Private. And then you'll have a password to share with others. Under the More, we'll find a few other details. You can create your own types, including class or event. You can also assign staff and assign the class to a program. After a user registers for a class, you can create a client profile if the unique identifier is not found. This is very similar to forms. When you're using an online form, the system uses the unique identifier of either email or phone to identify and match up the item with the existing client. So you can do the same thing for your classes and events. If someone's not already in your system, you can choose to automatically create a profile, or you can create one later and leave that unchecked. Now, this part is very important about sending invitations. For some classes or events, you may want to email out an invitation, and for others, they may be in person, or ones for which you're not specifically sending out an invitation. In that case, you may want to uncheck Send Email Invites to Attendees. We'll leave that checked for now so you can see what that looks like. You can also automate the reminders. So now we're going to create our class and we'll be taken to a template page. This is where you can build out a class page that you can share an online link for. Now, you don't have to use the class or event page if you don't want to. You can simply track attendees and ignore the page altogether. Once you build out your page, you can publish. And now you can add attendees. You can select external recipients, or you can invite clients, groups, staff, or referral partners. Here the system is letting me know I've selected some people that don't have email addresses, so they will not be able to receive a class invite until I add those. Here I'll see a preview of the email invitation, and I can make any text edits I like. When someone receives the email, they'll get a link to your class page. And again, if you're not using the class page, you can simply uncheck Send Invite when you're creating the class or event. So now let's see what happens when someone visits your class page or event page. Now notice at the top they'll have a way to register for your class or event. Now, if someone is already logged into your system, either through a client account or a staff account, they'll see a slightly different interface. Because I'm logged in, I'll see a drop-down. The system already knows who I am. You'll be emailed when someone registers for your class or event. Next, let's manage our attendees and mark who's attending. Now let's say I want an attendance report. I'll go over to Reports and Analytics. I'll add a report if it hasn't already been added, and look for Classes and Events templates. I'll select the Class Attendees report, and here you can see your report. You can switch between a count and a percentage of attended versus non-attended. In the report templates, you'll also find several other reports you can use, such as class response and outcome by class. You'll also find reports for events. Let's take a look at outcome by class. Now let's take a quick look at events. Events is nearly identical to class, in that you'll create a page, you can register attendees and mark attendance. One of the differences is that there's no outcome for the event, such as there is for the class, because classes will typically have a pass or fail or grade, where events are usually attendance only. So let's add a new event. You'll see the interface is identical. And remember, in this area, where you decide whether you want to email invitations or not. One of the other differences is when you create an event, you'll get a slightly different page template for the event page. To see how to use the web page builder, review the Website Pages tutorial. And that's a quick overview of the Classes and Events module in the Case Management Hub. If you have any questions, reach out anytime.